Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another great wellness topic that we're excited to share with you today. So today's topic is super immunity. And we're going to talk about specifically 7 ways to boost your immune system. And these are all natural ways. No increase or added things into the body. We're not taking anything out. We're only using pure natural ways to help boost your immune system. So exciting topic. We're going to get to it right here. I would encourage you to continue to follow us on our social media accounts. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are the primary areas where we share our information. Please feel free to follow us, like our page, subscribe. We've got weekly content coming to you guys. We try to keep it brief and all topics that are designed to give you more information so you can make a more educated, informed decision on your health and well-being. Be less dependent on others and empower you to make great decisions to help with your immune system and all various other health topics. So let's talk about 7 ways to boost your immune system. Number 1, huge topic we're going to start off. It's called getting adequate sleep. So getting enough sleep is so important for our immune system because the body needs adequate rest to recharge, to validate, to help and empower your body. So sleep is a huge topic. So if anybody out there does want to copy to these presentations, we're happy to share those with you. So feel free to drop a comment or leave an email that we can send it to you, and we would be happy to share this information with you. So I'm just going to touch on a couple things here. I'm not going to go into full detail on every slide, but one of the biggest things is talking about for adults to get at least 6 hours of adequate sleep. Now, some of that does change depending on how old you are. Elderly need more sleep. Adults is right around 6 hours. Teenagers is a little more, 8 to 10 hours. Their bodies are still growing. They need more time. And then even younger individuals, such as toddlers or adolescents, need even more sleep, somewhere between 10 to sometimes 14 hours of sleep. And all that is designed to let your body rest, to empower your immune system. When we get less sleep, our immune system is weaker. There's some great studies showing throughout here. Another great thing too, if you are having trouble sleeping, we've talked about before, and we've got an upcoming workshop that is talking about how to get your best sleep ever. And we talk about some great things from a book called Why We Sleep. And couple of the tips here, make sure you're in a nice dark room. Make sure that there is no noise, dark room. Limit your light intake before you go to bed. So screens have blue light, which is known to suppress your melatonin secretion. And it can do it up to 2 to 4 hours even after the last time you've looked on a screen. So get some blue light glasses to help reduce that. You can switch some of your phones and screens onto night mode, reducing that blue light exposure, ultimately helping you get the best sleep. Huge number 1 here. So number 2, we're going to go right into it, is engaging in moderate exercise. This is not just important for your immune system, but for stress levels, for overall health. Physical activity also releases serotonin into your body, which has a euphoric feeling of happiness, accomplishment. So adequate exercise is huge to boosting your immune system. Studies have shown that even a single session of moderate exercise can boost the effectiveness of your immune system. So huge benefits there. As a guideline, even more so, regular moderate exercise can reduce inflammation, ultimately helping to have less inflammation and joint pain, inflammation throughout the body, and then in particular your immune system here. So last thing too, talking about what are the recommended guidelines for moderate exercise. This doesn't have to be a full out, go running or sprint or engaging in heavy exercise. It can be something moderate, jogging, walking, hiking, a brisk walk, something even smaller than that. But, really it's 10 to 20 minutes is ideally what we want to shoot for each day. So great way to break up your day, get all the benefits of exercise, and particularly boosting your immune system. Okay, number 3 is limiting sugar intake. We could spend a lot of time on this, and really sugar, your body only has so much sugar that it should take in. And another highlight point is added sugar. So there are natural sugars that you find in fruits and all sorts of different foods. And really the conversation is limiting the added sugars, the fructose, the corn syrup, things like that. biggest way to avoid all that is just to limit your sugar intake in your drinks. So avoiding sodas. Sodas, unfortunately, as sweet as they taste, and I do like to dibble dabble every now and again, but limiting that to, very reduced throughout the week. This should not be a daily, multiple times a day. Reducing that sugar can be so important. Huge benefits for reducing inflammation by avoiding added sugar. And then even more so, we get into added sugar leads to obesity. Now, how that happens in the body is an interesting process where once your body passes that threshold of how much sugar it can take, actually sends the sugar to the liver. The liver then converts that sugar into adipose tissue, which is fat, stores it throughout the body. So we don't want to, I'm sure nobody wants to gain more weight, bad, unhealthy weight. Best way to do that is to limit your sugar intake. A lot of great studies showing that those who are less obese, who have less added sugars, ultimately have better immune systems. Pretty much other than that, those are the big things here. So let's limit that added sugar intake. Going into number 4 is eat more probiotics. Eat and drink, I'll throw in there as well, because we can get great sources of probiotics through kombucha. Has tons of benefits there. And then of course, eating certain foods. My favorite one is Greek yogurt. There's some other ones on here that I'm not even quite sure how to pronounce all of them. I know kimchi's on there, but good foods that have healthy bacteria. Bacteria can be a good thing in our gut. And when we have more probiotics, and we are, research shows that flourishing a network of gut biotics can help your immune system differentiate between good and bad bacteria, ultimately recognizing that, and then your immune system being strong to fight off the unhealthy bacteria that we're exposed to. 3-month study showed 126 children who drank just 2.4 ounces of fermented milk daily had about 20% fewer childhood infectious diseases. So great way, look and see what would go best with your diet in adding more probiotics, but a huge way to increase your immune function is having a good, healthy, established gut bacteria. So let's go into number 5 is limit stress levels. Now this is easier said than done, right? It's easy to just say don't have stress. It's harder to find ways to cope, and with all that life throws at us, to not get stressed. Now, the reason this is so important is, and feel free to Google this, and there's tons of good research on this, but it's cortisol. So stress releases a chemical called cortisol into our system. And when we talk about the body in general, we have homeostasis where everything's nice and even like this, right? But what the body actually does is this teeter-totter effect. And when our cortisol levels increase, our immune function, our immune cells, and all that function that comes with it actually is then inversely changed. So more cortisol and stress literally depletes that T cell and our immune system function. So it has a great inverse effect that we don't want to go into. So finding ways to not suppress the immune system due to psychological stress is a huge thing that we want to look into and find ways to limit that. Now, there are some great suggestions. I just put down a couple. Yoga, meditation, journaling, gratitude journal is a huge one, and mindfulness practices. So in addition to that, definitely seeing someone who is a licensed counselor or therapist. Those are the experts. That's not my area of expertise, so I definitely recommend that if you're someone who feels like you've tried all these different things and you still can't find a way to get through that, definitely would advise to seek a licensed individual who's qualified. And ultimately, we want to keep that stress down, because stress leads to chemical reaction in our body that will lessen and weaken our immune system. Now, number 6 is one of my favorite topics. I talk about it with every patient that comes into the office, and I'm constantly promoting that we want to drink more water. Water is just so important for our bodies. We're somewhere close between 60 to 70% water. Now, obviously we want to put as much good water as we can into our body. So a good baseline number, they say take your body weight in pounds, and half of that in ounces is how much water you should be drinking. Now, when I say that, it's as a baseline. So if you're exercising or throughout the day you're working and you're putting more stress and strain on the body, which isn't a bad thing, we need to increase that water. And I kind of talk about the 2-to-1 ratio. So for example, if you went out and exercised for 20 minutes, I would then say that 2-to-1 ratio, you need an extra 40 ounces of water to compensate and to help your body replenish and refuel for that time that you spent exercising. So follow that guideline. There's so many great studies that talk about how just getting enough fluid daily can really help to increase your immune system. Good feedback, checking your, if you have urine that is a pale yellow, that's good feedback that you're not getting enough water, okay? And as a general guideline, you should drink when you're thirsty and stop when you're no longer thirsty. However, I've seen a lot of studies show that when you start to feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So just getting a good practice of knowing how much water you should drink in the day. I'm somebody who likes to set goals. You can even set time frames for how much water you should drink. And having enough water will also help you sleep better, which all things lead to a healthier immune system. So stay hydrated. Number 7, probably as a chiropractor, the most important thing that I could share with you guys is a great case study that was done. Getting adjusted absolutely can have an impact and help boost your body's natural immune system. So when we talk about getting adjusted, how does that work, right? So we're looking for misalignments in the spine, and by adjusting those, there's really two things that have an added benefit. One is that there's a biomechanical benefit that we get, right? If there's a joint that is slightly misaligned or out of place, it's going to limit the amount of motion we can get in that joint. When we put that back where it's supposed to be, then obviously we have restored or increased motion in that joint from where it was before. But in addition to that, with those misalignments, what can happen is on those intervertebral foramen, that where the nerve is exiting, that's going out to your organs, to your muscles, to your skin, everywhere in the body, puts pressure on those nerves. And it can actually limit and decrease the nerve flow through that hole where the misalignment, and big word that we use is subluxation, is what I'm describing here. So getting to a chiropractor, getting that evaluated and checked is one of the most important things you can do. Huge benefit for your immune system. So I am just going to turn for a second and read this study because it is so important. Feel free to look at this for additional information. One of the most important studies was performed by Dr. Ronald Perot as a PhD, the chief of cancer prevention at New York's Preventative Medicine Institute, and also a professor of medicine at New York University. Okay, so definitely a well-qualified individual to do a study and to render his findings here. So what he did was he showed ultimately that there was a positive effect on the immune system and in health with chiropractic care. And how he did this was he measured the immune systems of people under chiropractic care and those who were not under chiropractic care. And this study went on for a 3-year period. There's 170 individuals who had been under chiropractic care for five years or more, and then he got a similar number of patients who were not under chiropractic care. And the chiropractic care patients were shown to have found a 200% greater immune competency than those who did not have chiropractic care. They had 400% greater immune competency than those people with cancer or other serious diseases. The immune system superiority of those under chiropractic care did not appear to diminish with age. Another huge factor that, getting adjusted at all levels in all ages has a huge benefit. Dr. Perot stated, when applied in a clinical framework, I have never seen a group of others than this chiropractic group to experience a 200% increase over the normal patients. This is why it is so dramatically important. We have never seen a group with such a positive improvement in a group. So once again, chiropractic is very scientific. There is great research. It's not a matter of do you believe in it or not. This is science, and a great study that shows the credibility of getting adjusted. Who wouldn't want 200% greater immune function than any other individual? So great way is to go get evaluated to see if you have subluxations, get checked, get adjusted, empower that nervous system. So thanks for watching.